Welcome to the Intuitive Ascending Mind podcast with your host, Alia Yasmin Khan. Throughout this series, you'll learn how cultivating a growth mindset can unlock your true potential and impact every aspect of your life. Join Alia and her guest each episode as they dive deep into strategies for personal development and lasting transformation. Now, here's Alia.
Welcome to the Intuitive Ascending Mind podcast. Joining me on today's show is going to be Ahmed Assaf. He comes all the way from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. He is the founder and CEO of Mindset Mastery Agency. Welcome to the show, Ahmed. I'm so grateful to have you here.
Thank you for having me, Alia. Thank you.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Ahmed, you've accomplished so much in your life. Can you share with us a little bit about your journey along this path?
Sure, I would be happy to share that with you and your audience. So my story somehow goes back to 2012 once I finished my master's degree in engineering. And I was like having lots of debt, more than $200,000. So this all debt I was overwhelmed because of my university fees and of some financial fees of my financial issues with my family. So all those things were on my shoulder. And I made that decision that I have to take that responsibility. And I started working in the field as a project engineer in the construction field. But all my goal was just to go out of debt. I was working very hard day and night until I became like head of department in 2018. But still, I'm in debt. And still the goal is the same. And I'm having those inferior results. I'm not satisfied. So I thought maybe I should change my field and get another higher income so I can make the things go faster with me. And I got another challenging opportunity in another field in facility management. And it was like being a facility manager for a $3 billion assets under my management. It was a huge responsibility. And to be very frank, I was afraid from that challenge, but I have to take the risk. I have nothing to lose and I want to get out of debt. So I took that opportunity, and for like almost 2 years, I was able to be on the zero level, just I'm out of debt. And by that time, if you remember, by 2020, beginning of 2020, COVID hits, and I had that opportunity to be working from home. We'll be locked up for 6 months. And for me, it was the best 6 months ever happened in my life. It was an opportunity for me to just jump out from this rat race, from like hamster in the wheel running. And I was thinking in myself and I was thinking in my family, because I said to myself, I will not continue my life in the same way how I passed like the last 10 years. And I made that decision to start working on this self-discovery journey and just to learn more about myself. What do I really want? Because I was meeting lots of friends and people between like 40s and 50s and even 60s. They're stuck. And I said to myself, even though they don't like their work or they're not happy, they're not satisfied. So I said to myself, I should be doing something from now. And just I want to leverage that to get to the point I'm living that life of freedom. So because of my whole point through the past 10 years, just to go out of debt, it took me 10 years to go out of debt. Somehow it was a mistake. I don't know. I don't blame or regret that, but I'm always learning for that point. But if I go to that point, it was how to set a goal. And the goal is to go to out of debt. Then I started the journey in 2 years of reading books, looking for some YouTube channels and following some great leaders. And to be very frank, the change was minor, just like 25%. I was not satisfied. So I said to myself, because Ahmed, you have like an engineering background and in the construction field and in the facility management field, maybe you have to have a business background. So I made that decision by 22 to do my MBA degree, executive MBA. And through that year, I was having a mentor, business mentor. His name is Chris Haron. And really, I want to thank him because I started to making that shift from that year, 22, and I was able by end of that year to start 3 investments as a family business and contracting company, and another one in agriculture, in organic walnuts. And the third one is investment in real estate and stocks. But by the end of that year, 22, I have my last meeting with my mentor, Chris, and I was thanking him of the results that we did. And I recognized the necessity and the importance of having a mentor in our life, because all my results start to change. And if always the results tell us the truth. So I told him, what's next? I don't know what to do next. I'm not satisfied. I want a bigger impact. I want to grow more, but I don't see myself doing whatever I'm doing right now.
Mhm.
And then he asked me this question that, Ahmed, if you stayed like 6 months not doing anything, what would be the number one you'd love to do? And I told him, and to be very frank, I don't know what to do. And I did not really have that answer. So he told me, you have like 15 years in the construction field and the facility management. Why you don't have your own consulting company? And it went just from that point, I thought that's not what I'm looking for. So by 23, I was looking deeper and deeper and searching more about the human potential and the wealth management, and more about what I want to learn more about the power within us, whatever, and what do I really want exactly. So by almost mid of 23, I was introduced to Bob Proctor, and here what things starts to change exponentially. I started reading his material and I start understanding where I was winning and why I was winning, where I was losing and why I was losing. So things starts to wire and connect in my mind, and I made a decision to start applying this on my life for the end of that year. And I did it, and the change was huge. And by end of that year, to make it short, I made that decision to start my coaching company, where I could empower and guide others, like individuals. Even I work with business and corporates, to make a continuous shift and create quantum leaps in their lives and live that life of freedom, because we are all just living by, like, just leaving the things going on, and we're not in control in our life. So I want to make a difference, even for myself, for my family, and for the community.
I love that. That's so powerful. It's so incredible that you made that decision and you took action, and you grew this business pretty quickly too.
I can't just, if you want, I can't summarize the whole trip so far, the whole journey so far, in 4 phases.
Tell me.
First, I've been like as a desperate, like from 2010 till 2015. I'm lost. I don't know what's going on. I thought that engineering is everything, and I'm not against education, but I found that if I do that, I would be out of debt. Everything will be okay. I will have the amazing job. But being in the university, just you are paying lots of money to have like an expensive interview that maybe you'll take that job or not. But I've been there. I thought if I go to the work field, everything will be perfect. It was not. So I was lost from inside and outside. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I'm having those results. Then when I started understanding, it took me like 5 years, beginning of like 2016, I went to a delusional state. Okay, I started understanding maybe I should have like some professional courses or something to develop. I took my PMP and I was certified in facility management, but that's not was the thing. So it took me like also another 4 years to step for another phase. And it's all about those, I will be telling you, that's all about level of awareness.
Yeah.
And it took me to be going, by 2020, I went to the phase of swinging. I'm changing from inside, but from outside, there's not much change. So I'm going back to the old version of me. So I'm swinging between success and going back, and I feel I'm stuck still, but I'm having this inner talk, inner talk, yeah, self-talk, that okay, I'm doing the things, but I don't know if I'm doing right or wrong. And this was my ego. And sometimes I'm in, sometimes I'm out, but you cannot be half in, half out. Until 22 or 23, I became to the level of a well-being once I start understanding what's going on. And this is why One of my main driving point is my family. And for even myself is to get to the point of understanding myself and learning more about myself to get to the point of a well-being. So once if you get back to your question, is you're running your business like so fast, it's not about the business. It's about me, because my business is a reflection of me, of my identity, of my decisions, of my discipline, of my attitude. All those will create my business, not my business will create me.
Sure, absolutely. You're the driver and you're the one in the driver's seat.
Yes, exactly.
Um, does it make you feel fulfilled every day?
Three things makes me feel. And I live for that. Number one is to live that life of freedom and helping others create a life of freedom. And number two is every day I wake up excited and just so happy to be in progress, this progressive realization of my goals and helping others achieve their goals and my clients achieve their goals. And number three, which is the most important thing to me, is to be surrounded with successful, productive people where I see greatness in them and they see greatness in me. And together we could create that community where we could learn together, grow, and lead.
I agree. You really do have to position yourself, and I try to do that as consciously as possible to make sure that I am surrounded by the right people, because it makes such a difference, your environment. Absolutely.
If I tell you a story and about this is the power of proximity, because just beginning of this year, I'm having a group of friends, which I used to like the last almost 10 years. Every Friday we meet. But sometimes, not sometimes, actually, always, once you make a decision, and that's why I want to highlight about that. Once you make a decision, you have to take consideration three things. Number one is what decision you would make, and if that decision aligned with your goal will help you achieve that goal. And number two, what is the cost for that? The cost could be money, could be relationship, and could be a business, could be a career shift. It could be anything, but you cannot get anything for free. And this is a law. You have to give until you get. And the third one, are you willing to make that decision? And willingness is the key, because if you know what you want and you know that decision is aligned and you know the cost, but you are not willing, nothing will happen. Nothing will change. So I made that decision. Okay, I want to start this business. I want to start it for me, for my family, even for my friends. I told them, just, I'm sorry, from the beginning of this year, I have a project I'm working on and I couldn't be with you every Friday. Maybe once a month, maybe, I don't know. But sometimes you have to step out. Well, and I really love them, but I'm not attached to them. And we've been talking about the attachment before this podcast starts. And that's what I would just tell our audience to think of. Is the group that you're in is helping you? Are you the smartest in the group, or they're smarter than you where they can learn from them? So this is the power of proximity.
I agree with that. You absolutely have to surround yourself, and you have to surround yourself with people that have strengths in different areas than you do.
Exactly.
That I've also found to be very valuable throughout the course of my life, is to make sure that the people that I surrounded myself with, where they were strong, I maybe need to develop that. Or maybe it's something I don't develop at all. Maybe that's just something that I learn, or I have them do because that's their
Yeah.
strength, but it's that balance. I completely agree with that. Um, what what drives where you're at now towards your goal? Like what drives you currently?
The number one is my family and my kids, because I've told you now, just really, I found out that gap. And especially And in 2020, once I said that those 6 months, I made that experience. It was really an amazing experience for me. I will never change it. I will never forget it in my whole life. Once I disconnect somehow from the world, from the physical world, and just thinking of paying the bills and running day to day, and I was thinking of me somehow, and thinking because I was going to have the first baby, and I said to myself, I will not continue in that way. And that's the point starts is how could I write a book or a guidance for my kids first? The idea started like this, is how could I make a guidance line for my kids? Because there's lots of things they will never learn in school or even university. I'm not against this educational system, but it needs lots of upgrades. And there's lots of things if they just inject those things in the curriculum, let's say, the change will be huge. The number one is they teach us a little bit about ourselves, who we are, how we think, how we feel, how we act, what are our potential. We've thought that whatever grades we get there, that's our potential, which is wrong. And then we let the sales dictate what we're doing, or the results and the health results are dictating, but it's something within us. Two is how to earn money. And earning money, it's not about selling to your time. It's about leveraging your time, how to get to be wealthy. And I work with all my clients to how to leverage time and get to this level. And you could have like PhD in economics, but you don't know how to earn money and how to have this multiple sources of income.
Mm-hmm.
And because we've been conditioned, you have to go to school, university, and then go find a work and have that family, which is a very limited life. And number three is the decision, the power of making decisions and making it on the spot. And I would love to share that, what I've learned from Napoleon, and is one of my mentors that I've been mentored through Bob Proctor. He said, after meeting 500 from the most successful people in the world, he found that making decisions in milliseconds, it was the key to success. It's the common denominator of success. So, and they change it slowly if it's required. So, but losers, they just go backward, forward, backward, and they just take lots of time to make the decisions. And once they made the decision, they change it in a fast way. And that's why they are failing. And that's what leads to
completely agree with
indecision
that.
and procrastination. Yeah. And
Yeah.
doubt and worry. So
Yeah.
if those three factors have been like introduced in our educational system, imagine the change. So to get back to your question, the driving points for me is number one is my children, my kids, my family. Number two, I really want to make a difference and impact the globe and make this world a better world and keep this legacy that anyone can make a change. It doesn't depend on wherever you're living or whatever level you're living. It depends on you.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
just start wherever you are with whatever you have, and everything will change.
So if someone was listening to you right now well, someone will be listening to you right now on this podcast, and they're thinking to themselves, okay, I don't know where to start. What would be your North Star? Where would you tell them to start?
Sure. I love this question. The thing is, we have to understand our mind, because our mind loves the order, loves the things to be organized. And once we don't know where to start and how to start, we feel overwhelmed and we just end up not doing anything. So the main thing I would love to start is with a great idea, or what do I really want? Just sit in a calm place and ask yourself, what do I really want? And from that point, they have to be aware of that point, because once the flow of energy of thoughts starts to coming to us, God gave us this free will to choose. And you have to control that flow of thoughts, because you have to accept the ideas and don't be afraid of it. Because if you took it to the negative side, something you don't know, you've never experienced before, it's been called like ignorance. At the beginning, it will lead on a conscious level to doubt and worry. So, and being in this state, on a conscious level, it will lead to fear as a subconscious level. If you keep impressing the doubt and worry, it will be a fear, and it will be then expressed in the body as an anxiety. Or, and that's what I get you back, is if you study yourself and understand yourself, and through study, there's lots of forms of study, reading a book, or just learning more about your capabilities, you start creating on the conscious level understanding. And that's the idea that you created or you found out. If you just keep thinking of it, you start creating understanding, and not thinking of how to do it, but asking yourself, what action shall I take now? Whom should I contact now to get to that point? And through repetition, emphasizing that idea, it will be impressed as a faith, because faith is seeing the invisible as a conscious level and believing it as if believe in the impossible, which is in the subconscious mind. That's faith. Once you build that faith and mix it with desire, what do you really want? You start making the actions automatically, and you get to the point of well-being. So the key is, ask yourself, what do I really want? And this is the main point to start. Then once you know what you really want, you have to mix it with a desire. It should come from deep inside of you. And once you set that idea, it couldn't be like a small idea. It could be like a small idea. It depends on you. But I would love to work with my clients to have like C-type goals. What C-type goals is? A-type goal, it's three types, A, B, C. A, it's what you know and what you are doing. It's like the masses. And B-type is, what do you think? It's a plan. Whatever resources you have, you could do. And once you achieve that B goal, you go back to the masses. That's why most of the people are locked between A and B. And if you stretch and you expand, doing the action and thinking in a different way, you get to the C-type goal. And here, the point starts is, what do I really want? It's the fantasy, it's imagination. It's something you don't know how to achieve it, but you really want it more than anything else.
Are you tired of feeling stuck? Unable to reach your personal goals? Imagine unlocking the powerful duality of your mind to propel yourself towards success. With our mental duality guide, you can finally achieve the personal development you've always desired. This guide is not just another self-help book. It's a transformative resource designed to help you harness the hidden powers of your mind, guiding you through the building blocks to create a structured approach to goal setting and achievement. What's in it for you? Clarify your goals. Learn how to define what you truly want in life. Overcome mental blocks. Identify and dismantle the barriers holding you back. Boost your confidence. Develop a stronger belief in your ability to succeed. Achieve consistent progress. Implement strategies that keep you moving forward even when challenges arise. But how do I know this is real? Countless individuals have transformed their lives using our techniques. One user, after applying the principles from the guide, reported a 91% increase in productivity and a newfound clarity in their life direction. Here's the story. Like many, they struggled with conflicting thoughts and feelings about their goals. After engaging with our guide, they learned to balance their rational thinking with emotional insight, leading to breakthroughs they never thought possible. And what are the guarantees? We stand by our guide with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. If you don't see progress within 30 days, we'll refund your purchase. No questions asked. Why now? The longer you wait, the longer your dreams remain out of reach. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Take action today and start your journey toward personal growth and achievement. What do you have to lose? Nothing but your limitations. Join the ranks of those who have discovered their potential through our mental duality guide. Act now and unlock the door to your future.
If you are willing and you are able. Everyone is able. We are all able. But the thing is, I want you to be willing to do that. And from that point, just start working on that goal. We set a plan. We start going to the habits. What are the habits, that productive and non-productive action, until you achieve your goal. There's a process for that, but the starting point is to know, what do you really want?
Sure, sure. What helped you to unpack all of this wisdom? Was it going through the programs that you did with your coach?
The thing is, I was having this question because I'm meeting lots of people between 40s and 60s. And most of them, they are somehow stuck. They are not even, maybe they're not enjoying their work or their field at all, or whatever they went to university and what they studied even, or even in the family on the personal level, or the health level, or the relationship. So I said to myself, I was in like 30s by that time. I was thinking of that point all the time. And I said to myself, what action shall I take from now so I don't suffer at that point?
Hmm,
Because I have that.
that's a
I have that
powerful
somehow
question
luxury
to
of time.
ask.
Excuse me?
That's a powerful question to ask yourself.
Yeah. So from that point, I was thinking of those gaps of what we know and what we're doing. Because also, if we go back to the school, that we've been conditioned to know, but less doing. And that's why we have those knowing doing gaps. But even that what leads to lots of people, they are getting to the point of doubt and worry and fear, and students. And even once we go to the work, to the career, we are always somehow afraid of losing the job or changing the job. And that's what leads to anxiety, and we suppress it. We never tell anyone that I'm afraid of that. And that would lead with time to depression and disease, and leads to disintegration with time. So I said to and I found those cases. I've seen those cases. I said, I will not accept it. I want to do something from now. I want to look to the other side, the knowledge. I want to look for a powerful knowledge, organized knowledge. I want to merge it and mix it with my experience, being like in 15 years in this corporate world. I've learned a lot in a professional level, but I've learned like the courage to take the decisions, and the self-control, taking the responsibility, cooperation with others. I've learned a lot, but I want to learn more about myself. I want to be more creative. I want to keep that legacy. And that's what I was telling you, is being in the knowledge side and this continuous learning and through study yourself will lead to understanding at the conscious level, which is understanding is the key to freedom. And once you start understanding, you'll have more faith about yourself, your capabilities, you're doing the things. And faith is opposite to fear. So whenever you're feeling that I have those feelings, just ask yourself what I'm thinking of. And this will lead you to be in the level of a well-being person, a successful person, and you'll be more expressing that in your daily life. And you see, like, all successful people are expressing that together. And then that will accelerate with time. And because money loves acceleration, once you have a success, you look for a higher success. It's a never ending. You enjoy this life. And this will be, you'll be at a case of at ease. And that's what leads to creativity. And that's what I'm looking for. Creativity and innovation. I don't want to be on the other side with disintegration, because it's a choice at the end.
Yes.
And I don't want to send to myself a double binding message. I want to be clear. I want to keep that legacy in helping others and helping myself first, and lead myself and control myself, have the self-control and lead others by example. So that's what I was really looking for, is being more creative, keeping that legacy instead of being in this other side, which is from ignorance to disintegration.
Yeah. How has the learning, I know we've talked about the laws that really kind of govern this universe. How has the knowledge of the laws changed the way you look at life?
Okay. I would just tell the opposite what happened with me, because once I was working against the laws because I never know about the laws. And it was like the first 10 years, and from 2010 till 2020, all my thoughts just to go out of debt. So I want to tell the audience now, we become what we think about all day long. So if you're thinking to go out of debt, you'll go out of debt. And that's the law of vibration. This is the power of thoughts. We have to concentrate of what we do really want. And that's the key I told you before. The main question, and that's what I was looking for. I was looking for the main goal, the main vision that I'm looking for, the purpose, why I'm doing that. Because you have to have that strong why. And this law, I was working against the law. And another law I was working against it is the cause and effect law. I was doing things and I was getting the results, and I don't know why it was happening to me. So if I connect, and that's what I was that's what I was telling you before, is once I started reading the laws and those material, I started understanding where I was winning and why, because this is a so important question to understand why you are winning. So
Absolutely.
you could leverage more, and you understand more where I was losing and why I was losing, so you can avoid it. And here's the main point. And another thing is the law of polarity. For every case, there's two poles fit, positive and negative, whatever it is, the amount of positivity or negativity. It's our attitude, our perception, what defines that pole, if it's a positive or a negative. And before, to be very frank, I was looking at for any situation as a challenge. But now, once I understood the laws and understand myself, the mind, the laws of the mind governing the mind, I'm changing my perceptions. And we could talk a little bit about those 6 mental faculties. One of them is the perception. I started understanding that every situation is a challenge. It's not a challenge, sorry, it's an opportunity to me. I have to look in it deep and find that opportunity. And there's lots of suggestion law. Like I was always in a hurry. I want results directly. I'm working hard. Where's the results? I couldn't find it. It will come to you on time. It needs time to be just created. So all those, and the law of relativity, let's say, if thinking of your situation now, I was looking for above, for people, like I was comparing myself to others, which is a very wrong way. So once you start applying those laws, the law of vibration, relativity, cause and effect, polarity, and just suggestion and the transmutation, all those laws, it's created by God and it's governing this universe. It's not by luck. It's not by accident. Everything flows by law. Everything goes by law. Once you are in harmony, and this is how I teach my clients to be in harmony with those laws.
Yeah.
And those are the keys to success. It's not a secret. It's thinking in a certain way. What is that certain way? It's by law. And once you understanding your mind and the parts of the mind, the conscious and the subconscious, and just the body is the only physical part, is that's how you could have and think to get to the results that you really want.
That's very powerful. It's very powerful because I do think that we think things into results. I think that we feel things into results. I think that we believe things into results. And you know, that unification of thought, feeling, and belief is really what creates the emotion and drives it to an experience that we experience. So that's pretty powerful. What
Yeah.
is next for you?
Oh, what I did is nothing compared to what we are. It's going on. That's an amazing question. I want to continue what I'm doing to impact the globe. How? Is really I want just keep continuing to help others. And because it's part of my free message, like having this podcast is part of your free message, and my free message is where we can educate and just help others, because it all depends on you. The audience, I'm talking to the audience. It depends on you. It doesn't depend on the economy. It doesn't depend, or I'm living in a rich country or a poor country. It depends on you. The main thing is to start understanding yourself and keep in your mind to make control of your results and change everything around you, because we've been conditioned to use our five senses: hear, smell, taste, and touch, which, although those are the physical, how we are connected to the physical world, but we don't have any control over them. How to make a control over them is through using our six mental faculties: the will, the perception, the reasoning, imagination, the memory, intuition. So once we develop, and this is how I develop those with my clients to get to the point, because those will define the emotional state of that person. Once you define your emotional state and have those in neutral emotion state, you do not let the outside control you. This is the best scenario to achieve whatever you want to achieve. So for me, what's next? I will keep educating. I will keep helping others. I will keep, because once I started reading back in last year, I found myself, that's what I will be doing till end of my life. Helping others achieve more, understand themselves, create continuous quantum leaps in their lives, and have that fulfilling life that they are looking to achieve.
I love that. It's amazing. That's pretty powerful.
I cannot do that alone. I cannot change the world, but I'm doing that for myself. Building that community where you're part of my community, you know that. And it needs this effort to be having this mastermind together, groups, so we could gather this powerful energy all together, like it's hooking the batteries together. And this is how we can make a real change in this world.
I think,
And leave this world with a legacy, keep it as a better world.
yeah.
This is our responsibility, and it's everyone's responsibility, not only my responsibility, it's everyone's responsibility.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think there's definitely a responsibility to serve, especially when you start to understand this type of knowledge and you start to really fine tune it, master it, perfect it. I think, you have that responsibility to then take it and start to educate others with it, because this is the thing we're supposed to learn. These are the things. Learning about the mind is the thing we're supposed to learn. For me, there's three systems. Like, there's the soul, the spirit, there's the mind, and then there's the physical being. And inspiration and aspiration comes through the soul, the spirit. And then the mind starts out pure, but the physical experiences feed a back loop that's negative into the mind. And now it's our responsibility as adults to take that back loop that's come in, that's negative, and reframe it, filter it, make the water clean again, and then put it back out into the world. So it's that that makes this powerful, because I think when we give our clients or listeners the tools that they need in order to go through and understand this purification process of the mind, because that's in essence what you're trying to do through this process. Is
Yes.
you are purifying the mind, you're igniting more ability to forgive and release, because that would just weigh your mind down, that would just weigh your thoughts and your feelings down, and to embody more of love and compassion, so that you encounter beings that are going to be loving and compassionate in the world. So I think being in service in this field of work is just, I mean, I absolutely love it. I do it all, I would do it all the time, all day for the rest
God,
of my life, and I'd be
God
happy doing
created
it.
us. Yeah, God created us in this world to be in service and to
Yes.
be giving and giving value. and giving love and forgiveness. And those are the core values of Mindset Mastery Agency, is the faith, the love, and giving this value. And once we have those core values, that's what moves us with continuous study and understanding, moves up from bondage to freedom. Freedom of time, freedom of money, and freedom of being yourself. And the more you understand yourself, the more you realize your capabilities, the better results you'll have, because there's no limit for that. We have infinite potential. God created us with this mind. And as you said, we are living 3 planes of understanding. The mind, we have to nurture it is by understanding, by studying ourselves, and spiritually through praying, and physically through exercising. But today we talk a little bit more about the mind. We could have another podcast about the spiritual part and the physical part. But the main thing is, this is the key, it's your mindset. And I would love to tell like the audience of those invisible 5 powers that are within us. And those will just be like a key that will prevent you from drifting toward your goal. So once you know what you really want, and you write it down, you read it daily, day and night. I want you to be obsessed, relentless. I want this. Just fearless. I want this, because fearless is just once you start taking the actions, you start building the faith and you start building the confidence. Those 5 is making decisions. Make decisions that are from your goal, not to your goal, as if you achieve it. 2 is your discipline. It's start accepting and rejecting ideas that are aligned with your goal, as if you achieve that goal. So if your goal to set like financial goal or a relationship or whatever, health, whatever your goal, or a business or a career is, you write it down and think from that goal. Always think from that goal. So your decisions, your discipline. 3 is your standards. What are your core value of your idea? And what are the things that you say yes to and you say no to? And 4 is your identity. We will never outperform our identity. So if you don't make a shift or a change, no one can change your identity other than you. So if you don't make that change, the necessity, right? Description of your self-image, how you think, how you feel, how you act, how you behave from that goal, and read it every day, and create this new identity. And the last one is your attitude, is your perspective, is how you see your perception, how you see view the world. So those are the 5 powers. If you implement it in daily practice, there's no limits. Only your mind is the limit.
That's big. That's a lot for people to start working on, but
there's lots of things. Yeah.
That is definitely some really, really, really good stuff. I think implementing those 5 techniques would definitely move the mark in anybody if they put that into execution. I love that. Any final thoughts?
There are some points that I would love to share with is, most of us that we've been looking to be like great leaders, and sometimes in this life we've been like in a place of a follower or being as a leader. But that's the main point, is once you understand where are you in which location. If you are a follower, I would advise you to be an intelligent follower for a great leader who have great results. So once you choose your mentor, your coach, find someone who make shifts in his life, who make results, because always the results tell you the truth. And another thing is, if you are a leader, you have to lead by example. You have to have this self-control. You have to have this courage, and you have the definiteness of decisions. So all those, and willingness to take responsibility and cooperation with others. It's leading by example. It's not by power, or just I'm a leader here, or I'm having those followers under me, even if you're in a corporate world. But the main one in common is impression of increase. Leaving everyone you meet with this impression of increase. And this power of that energy will return back to you and keep you like up and with high energy to continue every day to achieve your goals. So there's lots of things, but I would love to close with the impression of increase because we need it a lot, especially in our days.
Yeah,
And to be honest.
yes. I think the impression of increase is definitely, it can be challenging for some people, and if they, if they're not focused on receiving it, they need to receive it as well, being that
Yes,
gracious receiver.
yes.
Yeah.
So if anyone from the audience feel he's stuck or she's stuck and she wants to make 10x the income, or she wants to make shifts in her life, she have goals that she'd been trying lots but didn't work, she didn't have the proper direction, you could have Alia as a great coach, you could have me. Look for great leaders. And I love what Warren Buffett said with all his experience in the financial field. He said that we always need great mentors. We always need great mentors. So look for a great mentor now and stop being smart trying alone, because I tried alone for like 4 or 5 years. The change was minor. If you want to make exponential changes, if you want to make massive quantum leaps, continuous leaps, you should have a proper direction. You should have great mentors who have results in their lives to get out from this bondage, from the comfort zone, to step out to the freedom, to creativity, to enjoy a fulfilling life, a high quality life.
I agree with you. I think you do need mentors, because your circle is usually not the ones that are going to support you on your journey. They're going to look at you like you're crazy because you're about to break the paradigms that they all,
Yes.
because you're a part of their paradigm, they're a part of your paradigm. And when it's time to break it, that's where you need the mentor, because you have to have that person that's going to hold your hand and pull you up. If not, everyone
Yeah.
around you is going to tell you you're crazy and you shouldn't be doing this.
As a mentor, he should be accountable for that. And accountability, it's the success insurance policy that prevents you from drifting.
Yeah.
And he will be open for question and answers. He will be like facilitating the programs. He may be having, like, I have some tailored programs and with my clients, and you should go, you will be following step by step. And the most important thing is being honest with you.
Yeah.
This is the most important thing. Just, I'm honest with you, honest with my clients. Tell them the truth. The truth always, the results always tell the truth.
That's true. It's so true. I want to thank you so much for being on the show today. I think you gave so much insight and amazing wisdom. So thank you so much for joining us. How can people reach out to you?
Just on the LinkedIn, Ahmed Assaf. I'm always there. And or they could type my website, Mindset Mastery Agency, www.mindsetmastery.agency.com. That's it.
Sure. And we're going to be teaming up some more. So get ready.
Sure.
There's going to be something coming down. You can also find him on Sublime Knowledge in the About page.
Sure.
He's also there. There's a link to Mindset Mastery there. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you, Alia.
I really appreciate having you here.
Thank you.